the final seconds, and Jaguars are about to throw it in. Let's go back live to the action. He moves, he shakes, he got the shot, he takes it. Oh, he missed, he gets the rebound, he goes for the slam dunk. Yes, we have won the game. Hi, my name is Larry Daniels. I am a counselor in the Mobile area for the last 15 years. I'm also a registered play therapist, in case you hadn't caught that. I'm glad to be with you here today as a part of Phases EAP, and Infirmary Healthcare has invited us to take part in this, and I appreciate that. I wanted to talk a little bit today about using play in your life and being playful. We're in a hard season for quite a few months here now, and there's been stressors on all of us, especially you folks who have been working tirelessly to provide care to the Gulf Coast region here in Alabama, and we thank you for that. I appreciate that. You have taken care of me and my family. My wife was born at Mobile Infirmary. My daughter was born at Mobile Infirmary. I thank the world of you guys. I'm honored and privileged to be able to do a little something to give back. So, I have a game that I play with my ADHD kids when they come in the office. It says, Simon says, pay attention. And they're playful games where the child has to listen to key words and take steps as he or she hears those words to help them to pay attention. So today we're going to talk about Simon says, play your way to de-stress. There's a lot of benefits for play. The brain, if you think of the brain as kind of a brainstem, or your hand as a brainstem and the prefrontal cortex. The brain grows from the bottom up, and this bottom part of the brain is where the instinctual part of our personality comes from, and that's where the emotions start and hit us. And it's not until later in development that the prefrontal cortex is wired within our system when we get into our teen and young adult years. And so often whenever we get hit with stress, anxiety, and just challenges, we often can go down to that brainstem and we can react in ways that may not be helpful or healthy. We all do it. That's what we do. Play can assist in us not staying in that very anxious place. And so what I'd like to do today is talk some about what play can help to do. Play can help to relieve stress. It triggers the body's endorphins, which is the natural feel-good chemicals. It promotes an overall sense of well-being. It's even been known to temporarily relieve pain. It improves brain functioning. If you do different types of puzzles or games, it gives you an appropriate challenge that can be both fun and stimulating so that it can help your brain to think more clearly. It boosts creativity. Whenever we move, the body gets in motion, and then the brain, the emotions, and the mood can do the same and can get us out of that rut. Play, laughter can improve relationships, whether that's with your significant other, a romantic partner, a friend, a coworker. It has a way of loosening us up and having a way to invite us in and to let go of the tensions that are in front of us. It helps us to feel alive when we play, whenever we get energetic, and it really draws us into that vitality. Like Dick Vitale, if you know him from Coach Sports announcing, he has a lot of vitality. His name is in that. And so it's an effective tool for relationships as well. It enables us to work together, to let go of some of the stressors that are on us. It even promotes healing. Laughter does good like a medicine is a proverb I've read. It also can help emotional wounds. And again, just take away stress from the daily rigors of life. So then, there are various things that I recommend that you do with play. I would encourage you to think back to your childhood. What were some of the things that you enjoyed doing as a child? That scene you just saw was one that I played over and over as a child, that I was in a championship game. And if I didn't make that first shot, in my imagination, I could do it over again and over again until I won. And anytime we feel like we're winning or that we're overcoming or we have control of something, it releases that capacity of us to de-stress and overcome the challenges in front of us. And so if you just do things in the spur of the moment, taking some wadded up pieces of paper and throwing them into the trash can, challenging a coworker at appropriate times, you do have to work and keep those boundaries, but just to a game of horse right then and there. Other things that you do, I've often enjoyed tennis and bike riding over the years. If you've done dance, there's been movies about the old person in the nursing home who comes alive at the end of the movie as they remember their years as a dancer and different things like that. And just take opportunity as you have to play and to let go of the stress. The challenge with this sometimes in work, I find, is that we're usually self-conscious. And so you may have to be aware of when and where you do it. Some people aren't safe to do that with. They make fun of us and they laugh at us and put us down. So there's some boundary issues in being playful. And so you have to be smart and be aware. But I hope that you can find some times in your day, at work maybe, to engage in this. But especially on your time off, weekends, whenever your weekend it may be, to engage in the hobbies that either you regularly enjoy or maybe that you haven't been able to because of such high demand in this season that we are in. Think back again to maybe what you did years ago if you've dropped some hobbies. I used to do some triathlons years ago, and I still think about doing those. And the older I get, they seem further away, but it's something I hope again to pick up one day. But definitely engage those things that you enjoy. And, you know, I think of Shark Tank and Mark Cuban and Damien, two of the sharks on that show. I was watching Shark Tank one night, and a fella had a concept, an idea of saving or pre-selecting buying seats in the bar so that they could be there for after the big game and be there and enjoy and the rowdiness and laughter and celebration after a game. And Barbara Corkin, one of the other sharks, looked over at them and said, you guys think of fun as being in that loud music and all the hoopla and the drinking and everything that goes with that. She said, excitement and fun to me is curling up at night with a good book. So there's no right or wrong way to play. Whatever speaks to your soul, your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, do that. And make sure you keep it a part of who you are. I've often said since I've entered the field of counseling that I get paid to play. I just don't get paid what the professionals in sports get paid, but it's enjoyable to me. It's some of the roughest, toughest, hardest work I've ever done, but at the same time, it's enjoyable. But again, I have to get away from that and make time for play. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm going to end with a couple of things. There's a saying from Kurt Thompson, Dr. Kurt Thompson. He's a psychiatrist up in the Washington, D.C. area. And he has a phrase that goes something like this. He says, what we pay attention to, we remember. And what we remember, we expect more of in the future. And I have a story that goes with that. In college, I had a Greek test coming up, and I was making A's and B's, and that's just because I worked hard. I was a C student in high school, and I had to work hard for my grades in college. And so I was studying one night, and my roommate came to me, and we used to play tennis 4, 5, 6 nights a week. We loved to play tennis. I loved to play tennis. And Joe came to me and said, Larry, let's go play tennis. And I said, Joe, I can't. I've got a Greek test tomorrow. Oh, you're making A's and B's. You'll be fine. I said, I know, but that's because I have to study. Oh, you'll be fine. Joe followed me around that campus for 2 hours to the cafeteria. Let's go play tennis, Larry. Let's go play tennis. To the library where I was trying to study. Let's go play tennis. Let's go play tennis. He finally wore me down, and we went and played tennis. Guess what I had trouble paying attention to that night? Greek. Guess what I had trouble remembering the next day on the test? Greek. Guess what I could not expect more of the next day? A's and B's. I made a D in that class. On that test, rather. I'm not still angry. But anyway, what we pay attention to, we remember. What we remember, we expect more of in the future. So I'm going to share a story with you from the movie Saving Mr. Banks. And I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a very tender movie. It's a funny movie. It's a challenging movie, maybe, if it relates to you. But Walt Disney, and I don't know how true the details of the movie are, but it seemed to speak to some reality of Walt Disney's life. And he told P.L. Travers, the writer of Mary Poppins, he was trying to get the rights to make the movie from the writer of Mary Poppins. And she wouldn't budge, and she didn't want to give him it. And he told the story of his own Mr. Banks, that his dad, Elias Disney, was a newspaper man, and how hard he was and how hard he worked. And he believed in saving a nickel anywhere he could. And so he employed his son and his brother, Walt Disney, and his brother, Roy, to be the newspaper delivery boys. And he said that was in Kansas City, Missouri, where winters are harsh and rough, and that many mornings he would find himself delivering those papers in that bitter cold, and they didn't have even good shoes because his dad believed in not getting shoes till they were wore out, and his feet and toes would be exposed, and sometimes the skin would peel from his feet. Some mornings it was so harsh that he would wake up where he had passed out or something, and then he had to go to school. And Walt Disney said he was too tired, too cold, sometimes too hungry to really focus on doing schoolwork, so he wasn't a very good student. And Walt Disney told her in that movie, I'm tired of remembering it that way. He says, I want to remember something different, so that's why I do what I do. And he asked Miss Travers, aren't you tired of remembering things like that? So Walt Disney himself used play and being playful as a way to overcome quite a bit of adversity. I encourage you to do the same, to play, to be playful, to engage in play. So Simon says, play your way to distress. Again, my name is Larry Daniels, counselor in Mobile, here with Phases EAP with Infirmary Healthcare. Thank you. It's been a long, hard year, but we've got this.